Hello and happy Valentine's Day. This is the Real Estate Chicas talk show. And today we have one of our other agents who also is multilingual. So we're super excited to have a discussion today about real estate. I'm Jen Olmstead and I am the owner of Olmstead Real Estate Group. And why don't you beautiful ladies go ahead and introduce yourself?
I'm Ana Montemayor. I've been here with you every week. Hola a todos los que nos están viendo, soy Ana Montemayor y bueno, estamos aquí para hablar acerca de bienes raíces y los diferentes lenguajes que ofrecemos en nuestra compañía. Thank you. Hi, ladies. How are you?
Good.
Hello.
And with us today is Marina. She's one of our agents who just joined the company.
Hello, everybody. I'm Marina Page, and I'm so happy to be here with you. I am originally from Eastern Europe, from Bulgaria, and I have lived here in Rotterdam, New York for the past 15 years. I am happily married to my husband, Dan Page, who is also owner of April Home Inspections. I have 5 kids, 2 boys and 3 girls. I have 3 stepdaughters. Interesting fact about myself is I speak 5 languages. English is not my second language. I speak Bulgarian, Russian, German, and Macedonian. Hallo, ich bin Marina und würde gerne all meinen deutschen Freunden helfen, die entweder ein Haus kaufen oder verkaufen möchten. Привет, я Марина. Я хотел бы помочь всем моим русским друзьям, которые хотят купить или продать дом. Здравейте, аз съм Марина и бих искала да помогна на всички мои български приятели, които биха искали да си купят или да продадат свой дом.
Wow. Let me guess. The German, right? The first one was German. The first one. Okay. Second, Russian. And third one, Macedonian.
That was Bulgarian. That was my original language.
Wow. Beautiful.
Are the languages similar? Or
my maiden language, my original Bulgarian language is very similar to Russian. And interesting enough, I was forced to be bilingual when I was growing up and study all these languages, and they come in handy now.
That's great. I wish that here in our country, they did that, much earlier than they actually do. It's pretty interesting. JJ is learning German right now, and he got to choose a language, and he really, really loves German. So it's funny because he'll be teaching me things that, I'm like, what does that mean? So it's pretty cool. He says he feels he can speak fluent German. I mean, I don't know. It sounds good to me. He could be making it up. But and Danny is learning French, and when I grew up, I learned Spanish. So it's pretty interesting, but I don't feel like different languages are pushed as much as, some other countries. A lot of other countries force people to learn English, but there's not a huge, a huge push in our education systems to teach other languages. And I think, especially in real estate, we've learned how important it is to know other languages because we are such a beautiful country of blended people that, knowing other languages is really great to have. And that's why I love that you guys are on my team because it just makes it so that we're able to reach out to a client base and expand beyond, just English speaking clientele. So super excited for both of you guys to be here and what we can offer, not just as real estate agents, but as a multilingual company. So, let's talk a little bit about real estate in other countries. What can you guys share about real estate from, based on where you're from?
Do you want to start, Marina? Or
sure, I can start. So in my country, Bulgaria, I have done a little bit of real estate for a little over a year. And actually, I was a big asset back then for them because I spoke English. How funny. But it was very different back at home because you don't really need a real estate license to practice real estate. I mean, I think it's very different in each country. but I think what brings us together, and the one thing truly about real estate, is we're here to help people throughout the journey of selling or buying a home and just be there for them. And I think that's the one unique thing about real estate. And that is, I believe it's the same in every country. And I think speaking of different languages made me realize that I appreciate different cultures more, and I understand different people better.
What's the style of housing? Is it more condo living? Is it city living? Is it more rural?
It's more like a city living and more like an apartment building.
Okay. And you could buy like a condo or apartment individually?
So yes, you can buy an apartment individually there, and it's very different. The apartments are very small, and they're all bunched in together in one spot. So, but yeah, it's similar to New York City, where everybody is on the top of each other. Of course, when you go to the suburbs, you can have a small house, and farming is very popular there as well.
How's the cost of living?
The cost of living is very high compared to here. And the interest rates are also high. I was having a conversation with Anna the other day that you can buy a house and pay interest rate over 20% back in Europe.
Wow, that's crazy.
That is crazy.
So do most people tend to rent?
Most people tend to buy, beside the cost of high interest rates.
Interesting. But you probably have to have, do you find that families move together and put their money together, or is it more individuals purchasing the homes?
So I do think families do stick together. I grew up with my grandfather and my grandmother in one tiny apartment. That's because it's just to save a cost of living and the mortgage expenses.
Right. It's interesting. You're starting to see that. I'm finding that a lot of people are starting to adopt that idea here in America now, especially because, you know, as people are getting older, or your children tend to stay a little bit longer. I've had a lot of people ask about homes with like in-law apartments or, you know, additional space, so that down the road, if a parent needs to live at home, they can move them in. So that concept, that European concept, is really starting to move into America, where people want to be able to accommodate for extended family, which is pretty neat. So, you know, Ana, what about you? What's it like in Mexico?
It is, well, where I live in Monterrey, which is, well, I live here, but I was born in Monterrey, in the north. We're in the northeast. So where I live, we're very close to the border in Texas, and it kind of is an extension of it. It's that city where I live is one of the wealthiest cities in Mexico, one of the most important ones. So we pay high taxes there, more in the rest of Mexico. And hi, Marisa. And also interest rates are high, are between 12-13% to 8%. That's the lowest that you will find. So it really, like, having the opportunity to be here and being in this industry, it gives you it expands the perspective, because it's really a privilege. Here is very easy, and everyone out there who is looking to buy a home and he's renting right now, it's very easy. Take advantage of what we have in this country, which is beautiful. You have low interest rate. You have a lot of, if you are a veteran, you have the VA loans. I met one veteran yesterday, and Jen, correct me if I'm wrong, but he told me that you can use your VA loan more than once, right?
Right. Correct.
And I told him that, and he didn't know. And so, you know, you have a lot of different things that in other countries we don't. So where I come from it's very it's a very industrial. There's a lot of investment, vertical investment, which are the apartments, and also big houses. But it's a contrast. Like, not everything is nice and pretty. If you go to another side of the town, well, of course you have rough places. And now, if you move to the center of the country, things are different. Things are cheaper. Also, where I live in Monterrey, things are it's very expensive. The cost of living is high. If you go to the south, it's the cost of living decreases, and also you have the tourist places that change also the real estate industry. Some people buy from here to the areas with like beaches, Baja California or Cancun, Puerto Vallarta, all that, the Pacific area, for like second homes, vacation homes, and they can also Airbnb, so it's different. It changes, depends on in which state of the country you are. But and you also don't need a license to do real estate there, which yeah, that's very interesting. I find that is an asset. That's a plus. That really, the people who is now, I see a lot of people buying or selling by owner, or buying as well by without a representation. Not because we are here and we want like a self-service or whatever. Of course we do, but it's also you get, as you go through the appointments or meeting your clients, you find out that there's a lot of things that you didn't know if you were by yourself. So having professionals with you, having someone that knows, or maybe we don't know it all. Like I don't, but I call my team. Jennifer is always on the phone and she advised me with any question that I have. We have home inspectors. We have attorneys. We have a set of professionals that we can provide answers for. So it's really interesting to see the difference of this profession. Here is more like a career.
Right.
Yeah.
And
100% agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100% agree. We learn a lot at the class, and I think it's very beneficial.
Well, and also we're held accountable. So not only are we licensed, but we're also realtors, which the designation realtor is actually a code of ethics that we have to follow. And not every licensed real estate agent in New York State or real estate salesperson or broker is a realtor. So it's really important that you ask that question of your agent, because if they're not, then they're not being held to the same standards and guidelines that the rest of us are being held to. That means that while, yes, New York State sets guidelines and, laws and rules we have to follow, having those code of ethics and having that policed by our peers is also one extra layer of making sure that your assets are protected. So having somebody who can speak, maybe your primary language is not English, and having someone who can talk to you and make sure you thoroughly understand the process is really, really great. And it's huge to have. I find it really interesting, the interest rates that both of you have mentioned. It's really interesting because anybody who's been watching the interest rates locally this past week, they jumped and everybody's in a panic because, they went up to 4%. One day they're even 4.5%. So looking at most people who have been hovering around 3%, if you got pre-qualified in November and now you're looking at 4.5%, well, in the grand scheme of things, that's still a really nice low rate, especially when you just mentioned 12, 13%, 20% interest. I mean, when I bought my first home in 2008, it was 6.75, and that was high. But my grandfather saved the newspaper from 1984, which, he showed me the year that he bought their home, and it was significantly high. I think it was like 16% or something along those lines. Wow. So, we've had times in our economy where the interest rates have spiked up. Do I think they're going to go that high? Probably not. But we are going to see this year that the interest rates are going to go on the rise. I think they predicted there's going to be 3 rate increases this year. So we're experiencing the first one now, and you're going to see this happen possibly 2 more times this year, depending on how it goes. But it's been, the government has been keeping that rate nice and low, but it does cost a lot of money to do that. So as a way to try to stabilize the market and get back to some normalcy, this is something that's been in the works for a long time. And they kept saying the rates are going to rise, the rates are going to rise. Well, it's here, you guys. So, if you're going to buy and you're hoping to get a nice low rate, there's a really good chance that 2.875 is a thing of the past. So if you still want to get locked in at a great rate, talk to one of us. We'll get you in touch with some loan officers that we know. Start shopping around now, especially because those rates are probably going to go up even more. So some things to think about. But with that being said, it's still a nice low rate compared to what other people in different parts of the world are paying.
Yeah.
So,
and then some clients ask like, oh, when is the right time to buy the house? Or are the prices going to go low? Or, things like that we get questions all the time. And like, there's no right time. If you want to buy a house right now, just jump and jump on it, do it, because you don't know what's going to happen in the future, and prices will come back the way that they were a few years ago. That's impossible.
Right.
I mean, the gas keeps rising, so everything will go up.
Well, and
Yeah.
there's no inventory right now. So that's also something. If somebody's thinking about selling their home, they really should think about putting it on now while it's not flooded with other homes in the market. When buyers have less to choose from, they're going to be more competitive with your home, and they'll be willing to pay more to get locked into home ownership because of the fact that there's not much to choose from. If you are one in a sea of homes, it's going to be more difficult. So 2008, when the market crashed, 2009 was a really tough market. We were competing against short sales and foreclosures. So a lot of people were upside down. They owed more than their home was worth. And we had to really get creative. And the way that the economy works is we'll probably see that at some point. It's like a roller coaster. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. So we've been riding that up wave for so long that it's just a matter of time before it plateaus and starts to go down. So selling now for max value, even if you sold now and rented for a few years and held on to, just sat tight until things calm down, that's not a bad idea. And I've told some people to do that because there's just no inventory on the purchase side. But there's a lot going on. We probably will see some real serious changes in the next couple of years. So, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But there's always, in our area, there's always going to be a need for housing. So because we have so many transplants here, we have people who are relocated here for GE, for Global Foundries, for Regeneron, for the colleges, for the med school. We have so many different opportunities here that people are consistently relocating into our area, that even when 2008 happened, we still saw a lot of homes being sold, a lot of people still buying. And I believe the statistics say our home values only dropped about 7% total. That's not bad when you look at the national average for that year, where homes were selling for 50% less in Florida, and what was going on as a national average. 7% is not that bad. We were able to bounce back pretty fast. So I do feel like our economy here is extremely strong. We have a lot of great opportunity between, the city areas, the suburbs, and, even in the rural area. There's a lot of people who are relocating to all different parts of the capital region. So I don't anticipate us seeing a huge drop in home values when that time comes. It'll be a small, minor one. But the biggest thing for a lot of people that's going to be a tough pill to swallow is those interest rates rising. Because that same home is going to cost you more in interest. So that 1.25% jump we saw last week, that made it so that some people were knocked out of the price point that they were looking at. So we had to kind of go back to the drawing board, reevaluate, get pre-approved again based on this new rate. So really, really interesting. If you were pre-approved in September, October, November, I strongly encourage you to reach back out. And if you haven't found something yet, reach back out to your loan officers. Make sure that your numbers are still good, you're up to date, things like that, because you're going to see some slight changes based on that rate. So those are some tips and tricks.
Some tips out there. But I think I'm very happy to be part of this new family homestead and offer these different languages to help people, because with everything that you are saying, Jen, when you have someone who speaks another language, it's not just the words, it's also the emotional connection that we do with the words. So it's the cultural experience, and that's, you can relate because there are like already, the collective unconscious that we have in every culture. So we understand, and that I think is a plus for someone who is out there, who is from another culture, coming here and if they want to buy a house or just build their lives.
And trying to absorb what it is that I'm saying and what it actually means, or what you're saying and what it means, making sure that they're understanding and putting it together and know, like, okay, well, what does that mean when she's saying that the interest rate has gone up? How exactly does that impact, and who do I need to contact, and how does that work? And being able to ask a question in a way that the question is understood, because sometimes when there's a language barrier, the question is difficult to understand. So you're trying to interpret the question and make sure you're answering it the way that it needs to be answered, but maybe it wasn't delivered the right way. So having both of you on the team where we can say, okay, this is somebody who's going to be able to make sure you understand the process, have your questions, everything like that is huge. So, it's.
Yes, the process can be very intimidating, especially if you come from another culture and speak a different language. And that's why for anyone out there that is selling or buying a home and is speaking a second, third, fourth language, please don't let that be your hurdle. We are here to help you, and Homestead team is here to truly guide you through the process and make it easier for you.
Yeah. And the nice thing is we really are like a family. So if one of us isn't available, or if there is a question or something along those lines, we do always reach out to one another, make sure we get you in the right direction. If somebody's not available to show a home, one of us is always on backup, things like that. So we really do work together, and we definitely tackle all those hurdles together. So it's a good
We'll find a way.
That's right. That's right. Is there anything that you guys want to share? I know like Ana usually will interpret some of this in Spanish. If there's anything that.
Sure, yeah. Thank you. I will say, para todos los que están allá, estamos hablando de los beneficios que tenemos en la compañía Homestead de hablar diferentes lenguajes. No es nada más las palabras, no es nada más lo que decimos, sino la conexión cultural. Y para ello, aquí estamos personas que hablamos diferentes lenguajes y podemos ayudarlos para que se sientan más cómodos en el proceso. Agradecemos mucho que nos estén viendo, y agradecemos mucho esta hermosa país de Estados Unidos que nos permite, pues, unificarnos más, ¿no? Al traer este servicio en nuestra lengua. That was my commercial.
What about you?
Very romantic. I would say, за всички мои български приятели, които са там, или германски, или какъвто език говорите, аз съм тук на разположение и бих искала да ви помогна за всяко едно нещо, което имате нужда от помощ. И заедно с Homestead Real Estate Group ние ще бъдем на ваше разположение. Очаквам да ви се обадите. 518-389-5906.
Wow. Yeah. And I'm just like, yeah.
Are you kidding me? You are the mama here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to learn everybody's language, and then I'm gonna surprise you one of these days, and I'm just going to walk up to you and I'm gonna start speaking languages, and I'm gonna just knock your socks off. I can't wait. Challenge
great.
Yes, exactly. But so the biggest thing is having a real estate agent in your corner. Like we're here to help you and guide you. So whenever somebody says, what is it that you do? The number one thing that comes to my mind is that we're actually consultants. We're not selling anything. The home is going to sell itself. If you do the right things to guide a buyer or guide a seller, the home will sell. So when we're working with sellers, we make sure that we price it right. We come up with a marketing plan, and we do what we need to do. I mean, there's times Ana helped me. We had a house, and the third bedroom basically was set up to look like a closet. They'd made this third bedroom into their walk-in closet. Sounds great, but most people could not see that third bedroom as a third bedroom. They kept saying, oh, it's a 2-bedroom with a really big closet. And, the thing is that that's accurate for that homeowner, but it was a 3-bedroom. So I asked the owners to clear out that room. I said, we'll come in, we will do everything. Just do me a favor and clear it out. It wasn't exactly cleared out. So when we got there, we actually rolled up our sleeves. We cleared it out. We brought in a twin size bed. We used a dresser that they already had. We just made it feel really cute and homey, and set it up to be an extra little bedroom. And it completely changed the feel of that property. And in fact, about a week later, we went under contract. So, knowing and understanding what that home may need to be appropriately marketed, and then actually doing it. So instead of saying to the homeowner, you should make that a 3rd bedroom, and then not guide them, that doesn't do anybody any good. If you just tell someone what they should do and then hope they do it, it's never going to happen. So taking the extra time, doing what you need to do to make sure that home is marketed appropriately, pre-home inspections, having somebody come and look at the house and say, hey, just want to let you know, these are the things that are going to be flagged. So, if you should probably handle these major ticket items prior to listing your home. Having all of that done ahead of time and having the right people, behind us. If sometimes there's times where a home needs painting or there is a repair that needs to be done, and having a contractor ready who is going to be willing to tackle it right away, come through, get it done. I mean, those are really important things. And then for buyers, making sure they understand the process and what it is that we need to do. A lot of times we'll do a buyer consultation before we even go and look at homes. We just sit down and say, hey, listen, where are we at? Have you talked to the bank yet? Okay, well, here's a list of vendors I recommend. You can use whoever you want for different bankers, but these are cell phone numbers and direct contacts to people who can help you get a mortgage. And if you can't get a mortgage, they're going to give you a plan to get you there. So if you say to us, you want to buy a home in 6 months or a year, we really want to make sure that we got you on the right path so that when that 6 months or a year comes up, and it will come up pretty fast, when that happens, you're ready to go, you know what you need, and you're in good shape. So, some people are like, oh, I want to buy a house in a year. They don't realize that it's okay to come to us and not be ready. We're not going to force you to buy a home if you're not ready, but we would rather have you on the right path. Or sellers. I have a lot of sellers who reach out to me and say, in 2 years, we're out of here. We're going down south. The kids will be gone. We want out. What can we do now to start working towards that? Because a lot of times people think that things need to be done that aren't necessary. So for example, they think they need to paint. Well, not all paint is necessary, because I think a lot of home buyers expect to come in and paint. It's the easiest thing that you can do. But if you have a toilet that's been leaking consistently and there may be unknown wood rot going on underneath that, we're going to want to investigate that and make sure there's not a larger issue there. So knowing what things to work on, what things not, it's really great to create that honey-do list, as they call it, for, when the time comes to sell. And that's, a lot of people don't realize that's a lot of our job, is guiding people to where they need to be.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
Yeah. Having that from that support, it's really helpful, I think.
Well, and I think there's a major issue that people think that we just get the sale, we move on to the next part. There is a 2-month gap from the time we go under contract to the time that we close. And in the middle of that is a whole bunch of stuff. Coordinating inspections, coordinating the appraisal, making sure that the bank, the title company, the attorneys, the agents, the seller, the buyer, making sure all of us are communicating to get to the goal of closing is a whole nother part of this. Once you find the house, we are not out of the woods. We have to keep this deal together. Sometimes we have to negotiate credit. Sometimes we have to make the price work. There's a lot of things that we do in our job that stems far beyond putting the sale together. So
we really connect with the client in an emotional way, because it's whatever, if it's first time or if it's a second home or if it's commercial, there's a lot of things going on. So don't expect we'll just walk out of your lives just like that.
That's right. Well, you're not going to believe this, but our 30 minutes is already up. Can you believe that?
So fast?
No.
You can see all of our phone numbers are here. We're available. You can text us. You can call us. You can get a hold of us on Facebook Messenger. We would be happy to help you in any way that we can with any of your real estate needs. We do help with rentals. We help with land. We can do commercial. So it's not just buying or selling residential. If you need a market analysis, please reach out to us. But thank you for everybody who came in and tuned in today. This was great. And both of you are beautiful ladies with amazing talents. You're incredibly gifted. And I'm so proud to have both of you on my team. So
thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. And feel free to reach out to us for your real estate needs. And we will see you next week.
Sí. Gracias a todos. Besos.
Thank you.
Okay.
Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye. Bye.